Graycie. Hey guys, welcome to the Larry and Graycie podcast show. She's a smart butt, we already know that. But today we've been off for a while because of the COVID situation. We took a break because we had to get back to working. And in that midst of all that, we haven't really had our podcast shows in a while.
It's sad.
I know, it's been depressing. But now we're back, guys. And we have a lot of exciting news now because now Graycie is tattooing.
Yeah. On the real skin.
Yeah, not just...
Oh, snap.
Not just doing it on fake skin.
Yeah.
So, let's dive in, guys, and tell you a little bit. So, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Like when I started my apprenticeship?
Yeah, how long ago was it?
I started in November.
All right, so in November, she started her podcast, or she started her journey into an apprenticeship. 3 months of a COVID, we were locked down for a little over 3 months, and the whole time, 7 days a week, 8-hour days we spent hand to hand doing an apprenticeship with her. And it was the most attention I've ever given to one apprentice at one time because like life just stopped and we had time, so we did it. Yeah. And in that COVID period, she ended up taking and absorbing everything she learned, plus there's still way more to learn. We're still in the process. But she started tattooing, and now, guys, I'm going to let her tell you about some things that she's done.
I started, the first tattoo I did on my mom. We had like a little video about that.
Show her what it is.
Yeah, she got the same olive branch that I got. My dad has the same one too. And then...
That you did?
Yeah, that I did on them. But I started, I don't know my pieces in order. I could probably pull them up on my phone.
You don't have to pull them up in order.
But,
just the ones that catch your mind the most, the ones you love the most.
I mean, of course, my portraits are my favorite. I did a portrait of David Gilmour, like the guy from, I forget what artist that.
That's alright.
Anyway, my dad's I hope he doesn't watch this because it'll be bad. But, I did a portrait of him on his forearm, and then I did Marvel, Tony Stark on my girl, Christina.
So you're just gonna leave me out of this?
And I did Larry Bird's leg, but you didn't. No, and I did Tupac. It was my first portrait I did on real skin.
And we'll show it to you right
Larry
now.
Let me do it.
It looks really good. The only part that I messed up was I was sleeping one night, and you know when you're halfway awake, I was getting up to go use the bathroom, and my leg was itching, and I reached down, and I scratched the eye.
Yeah.
So like one part of the eye, but that's it. The rest of the tattoo looked great.
Yeah, that's why
and you'll see pictures of it. We'll post it up because I haven't even posted a heel picture since we did it.
I haven't. You're gonna have to let me touch it up and then
then
post
we'll do it.
Picture.
Yep. So, what else? So give me the one that you did for your dad. How did that feel? How was that?
I think like if anything, doing black and gray and like color are both like really different. It's weird because like doing tattoos, I would get like a little nervous like doing writing or like little stuff, and I'd be like, man, like I can't mess this up. Then if I do a face, I'm like, oh, let's go. Like I'm immediately like way more comfortable, and I ask a lot less questions. But my dad's is in black and white, and I kind of like I watched a couple extra videos on like shading and stuff. I think like that's what made that piece like a lot better than like other black and gray that I did. But I mean, I had a great time doing that. I was like, this is awesome.
You did it on your dad, you know?
Yeah.
It's
and the poor man, it was his second tattoo, and like, I'm like blasting his arm, like packing black in, like the biggest needle like we have in the shop, and he was like, man, that hurt real bad at the end. I felt so bad. Like, he didn't say anything about it hurting, but I didn't even think because he didn't say anything. I was like, he needs a break, but he's strong.
Well, obviously, your color is where you're strongest at. Anyway,
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like when I watch you do color, it's because that's what I know, that's what you know, and we work together so much on it that your color is just there.
Yeah.
Your color, you're more confident, you just attack it differently, you're aggressive with it.
Yeah, like the Marvel one I did, like the only like, and even like over quarantine, like when I did practice on the fake skin, like the stencil would wipe away, like I'd be like, great, now I can only see the pupil and like a couple lines in the eye. Like, but I think that helped me a lot now because I don't get nervous when the stencil wipes away, or like, because when I did the Iron Man, I did like the mouth, the nose, and I like outlined the eyes, and then I just like wiped it clean. I just go off that. Yeah. But definitely color, I'm a lot more comfortable with. I mean, I was predicted, but like I thought it was gonna take me a lot longer to be like, yeah, I can do a color portrait. Now I'm like...
And you're doing it in, what, 6 to 8 hours? It didn't even take you that long.
Yeah, hers took 6.5.
Yeah, that's not even... That's For that much color packing and that much saturation, it takes usually a lot longer.
Yeah, she took like we took like a 40-minute break in the middle, and I didn't include that in the time. I was like 6.5 hours total. But I got like, I think the more I mess with like my speed and like the needle and like the different, like I'm slowly like but surely like figuring out what I like.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. It takes that whole, because between curved mags, straight mags, like bug pins, straight, like depending on what you like to use, and you're gonna figure all that out.
Or like the look you're going for. Like when I would draw in colored pencil, like you only have a pencil, like it's that was it. But like with a machine, like you have so many different settings to mess with. Yeah. So it's like I can do a portrait now like way faster with, I feel like, a tattoo machine. Cause
isn't it crazy seeing yourself go from like wanting to do it to doing it now, and now it's a career, and you gave up. Yeah. You gave up a lot to do it. Like you sacrificed. You took a leap of faith, and you didn't go to college.
Dude, yeah, that was. I mean, yeah. Well, my aunt kind of, not that my aunt talked me out of it, but she mentioned like maybe deferring for a year because of COVID, and then as soon as she said that, I was like, I'm not going to college. Not that she like really influenced it, but like it was always in the back of my head, like what am I going to get out of college? Like what is the what is it like cost and
like what would you go for, and what would it? How could it help your career? Because this is your career now. Like you know it. Like you love it, and you can see it and you can explain it. But I tell you, what I see is like the joy you get coming in. Like you.
Dude, I get to walk in the shop. I'm like, what's up, everyone? I say hi every day. Like I haven't had a bad day. I think there's one day where I didn't really feel that great, but it was nothing. And like it's so nice like working at a place where like I like make my own schedules. Like I come in, but like I book my clients. Like I keep myself organized. Like I have my own room. Like if I want like new stuff, like I have to buy it. Like and just like all that, like it's so much freedom and independence, and like it's awesome to have that like side by side with doing art. It's not like some boring job or like some where I just have to sit at a desk or computer.
Yeah.
Sick. And it's the dream, literally my dream.
You get to meet new people and create art every day.
I can travel. Like
wait till the COVID's over. We haven't even brushed on this yet because we haven't had a chance to. But we travel. We do conventions. We go all over the world. So
I've been thinking about the conventions and stuff. Like
there's a couple going, but I just don't want to take the chance of going somewhere and doing one and then coming back with it. You know what I mean? So I just figure, they've got some conventions going, and kudos to them. But I just don't want to put any of our families at risk. Because you've already witnessed how that is.
Yeah, not fun. But.
So we just don't want to deal with that. So the one portrait you did on Christina, the marble, what would you say? What are you going to do next with that? Because aren't you doing like a complete sleeve?
Yeah, well, I have her and then my other guy Tommy. He got like a big portrait on his quad, but I think like now like I know I can do good work. It's more of like planning out better and like really creating like a full sleeve, knowing from the jump like all the faces I want in it and like how I want them to flow. Because like it's kind of hard, like it's not like symbols, like I can't just put like it's like you really got to think about like how am I gonna incorporate like a face in, or like what goes with a face. So like, and luckily like the Tommy guy, he's like getting like movie themed, so I can put like movie like symbols in and stuff. But like with Christina, like I gotta like take a picture of her arm. I think like from here on out, like I gotta think more about
mapping it out.
Yeah. And I mean I have the iPad, it's just like a matter of doing it. But like those two, they were like, I'm cool with just a face. Like just give me the face, like that's what you want to practice. So like not that like I was like, oh, what do I do next? I don't know. Like I knew I was only doing a face.
What about that one guy, the kid that's got the weird name that you say all the time? Chum.
Cameron.
So him, you're doing a theme on him too, aren't you?
Yeah, he got the Harley Quinn, and I have to go over that. His is this Friday. I'm redoing his arm, because I was like a little timid, like definitely with packing the color in. So I'm gonna go back and like blast him with color. But he wants like some Harley Quinn stuff going around it, and he wants a Joker on the back. So that'll be really cool because like it's really not like super colorful, but like.
Yeah, it's rich.
Yeah.
The richness of the Joker and the Harley Quinn.
The greens, the reds, the blues.
And all that black is just going to make it pull forward. So you get some dope lime greens and some real just like forest greens.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I would think about. Like,
we have to get you some color palettes to go off of, like some new color, because I think I'm between you and Mel, you guys are killing me on some colors.
Yeah.
Y'all done robbed my whole...
I need to start buying I told my parents, I was like, I need to start buying my own colors, so...
I let y'all go for a while because it's like, I'm trying to make sure that you guys are understanding the color, but we're at the point now we gotta buy new colors.
Oh, yeah, like...
We're at that point now.
I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, well, if I like colors so much, maybe I should just start buying the colors that I know. And, like, skin tones definitely...
We'll get to that point. We'll get to there. We'll get to there, I promise you. We'll get there this next week or two. Because I gotta sit down and we gotta go through all the bottles I have. Go through the colors that you've used.
Yeah, because I can pick out the ones in yours that I know I will use, like, I like to use, like, because I'm more of a warm, like, tone. Not that I wouldn't use, like, I wouldn't put a color in if the color was in the picture, but the ones I'm comfortable with, like, doing Christina's, like, it had a lot of, like, browns and reds and yellows. Like, I did that so fast just because, like...
It's your color wheel.
Yeah.
Even when we first started this, that was always your thing, was the browns, oranges, and yellows. That's always been, like, your go-to. That's why I feel like when you're doing, like, even with this Tupac that you did on me in black and gray, I know if you did it in color, it would even be sicker than it is in black and gray.
Yeah.
Because you would have more freedom with your tones, your blends, because it's what you like. So black and gray is like your back, like, it's good for you, but I know your colors.
It's like those I think what I appreciate with black and gray is, like, you have the scale, and it's like those mid-tones in the middle that are like, if I'm doing a color pencil drawing, like, I have those middle brown shades that all, like, if someone else looked at it, they'd be like, they all basically look the same. But to me, like, that little bit of, like, tone change in something, like, makes a big difference. That's why my drawings look super realistic. Yeah. And definitely the drawings I like the most are the ones that I did with, like, browns and realistic colors, skin tones. So
what do you have coming up? Anything fun that we can look forward to?
Yeah, I have, well, of course, I'm going to start working on that guy's portrait sleeve of movies. Cynthia's getting a movie sleeve from me, and I get to plan that out.
What's her theme on?
She's got, like, Edward Scissorhand in there, and, like, the Lost Boys and Crybaby and stuff. So it's just, like, one of her, like, her favorite movies.
That's a throw. Those are some throwbacks there. Those are 90s.
I have a couple of the stuff I posted, like, people picked up and got, like, that big Greek sleeve. Some guy got probably take like 3 days on that. But and then I have some guys getting the girl from Fight Club, her portrait smoking a cigarette on his leg. Yeah. So I think more so, like, I'm gonna start, like, drawing stuff like more like bigger stuff with portraits. I think that I know I could do really good and post them, like, with a price, because I don't know, I don't like thinking that the person, like, when I'm, like, tattooing, I'm like, oh, if I told him 6 hours, like, what if it takes me 8? Like, I'd rather just, like, say up front, all right, this is how much I would charge for it, and then know I can take my time.
You charge a half day and a full day, and however far you get is how far you get. You can't think about it in the money aspect. I don't think about it in the money aspect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
when you start to shortcut your work, right? Because, like, I'll give you an example. You just said, well, if I do it in 6 hours and I told him 8 hours, I feel like I'm beating him, right? No, you're not.
Yeah.
You just got comfortable in the zone, because sometimes, some tattoos I told the lady the other day take me 8 hours, it took me 4. Because when I got into it, the rhythm was just there. I was like, ooh, the colors are going perfect.
That's what, like, in my idea, like, clients, I feel like, don't understand this, but I spend so much of my time, like, learning, like, shades of skin and, like, understanding, like, how to draw a face. Like, my senior year, there were so many times where I didn't go to bed because, like, I was working on art projects, like, and that was, like, really, like, draining. And finally now it's, like, paying off. So, like, when I get people and they're like, oh, like, that much for, like, a portrait or, like, this, I'm like, dude, like, one is on your body forever, and two, like, it took me, like, it took a lot of dedication to, understand how to do this. So it's
not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people can do a colored portrait like that and make it that realistic. It's hard. It's not an easy process, because you studied and you did the time and you took the time and you learned the colors and you're learning the color palettes on ink now. You're just going to get stronger and stronger. So what I would say to you is, on the process of pricing, just charge a day rate and a half rate, and whatever you get done that day. And then that way they know going in, and they know, because when you sit and tattoo, you don't get up, you don't mess around, you just tattoo. So at the end of the day, that 4 hours or that 8 hours you're giving them that time. It's not like you're robbing them of that time, So try not to look at it as like, oh, I got to price them this. Be like, listen, this is what I usually charge. This is what I think it's going to take. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll give you a full day. This is what my full day price is. And if you do have to come back, it'd probably take a little bit, but it won't take a lot, because sometimes you can get into a rib piece, man, and if they're moving a lot or they're not sitting well, the tattoo can go from an 8-hour tattoo to a 16-hour tattoo, depending on the person and how they sit.
Mm-hmm.
So you really don't want to go pricing for what your quality of work is off of hourly.
Yeah.
Basically 4 hours, 8 hours, just because no matter what, you're not going to get a portrait done in no 4 hours.
Yeah.
Not a color portrait, not a big one. Maybe the little one like on my leg, where it's like palm size and you can do it in 4 to 6 hours, but realistically a color portrait takes some time.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't even, like, on real skin, like, before the silicone, it would take me pretty long to do a portrait, like, but now on the real skin, like, I haven't even been tattooing for 2 months, so it's hard for me to give someone, like, oh, it'll take me this long. Like, I don't even have enough experience. Like, I just have, like, my, like, art like, background is just transferring over to a different medium, so I try to do what I can, but, like, it's not like, you know, you've been tattooing for so long, like.
I would just say a day session usually for a portrait, because no matter what, look at it like in different ways. It's going to need a touch-up most likely anyway, right? Because most big pieces like that would need some kind of touch-up.
And that's another thing,
so
too.
Those are free, right? So if you're not charging for that touch-up, you're getting it. You're charging one flat rate. It's not like you're being rude. It's not like you're trying to overget it on anybody. It's just, you know your worth. You know what your value is, right? And even if you're only charging what I say you should charge for a day, that's not bad, because mostly people are paying triple to that right now. Like, if you go to some people, I'm not going to shout out their names because I don't want, you know, we're not doing that right now. They ain't giving us any money. We ain't giving them any money. But at the end of the day, if you wanted to, you want to look at it like that, if you could send them right down the road into another shop, I know that's like an hour away, they're going to charge them triple what you're going to charge them. Yeah. Because your work speaks for itself. So don't worry about the price. Don't keep that in your head, because I really don't feel like that's something you should worry about. I want you to focus on just art. If you need help with the pricing, let me price them for you.
Dude, like, that's what I have thought about that, but I know, dude, I have no bills to pay. Like, it's nice having extra money. All my money literally goes in my bank account. Like,
but it's not about
that. And it's
that.
stuff for, yeah, exactly. It's like, so it's something that's not very significant in my life anyway for me to even care about. So, you know, it's nice getting the paycheck at the end of the week, but, like, I forget to, like, fill out the form Shelby asked me to fill out. I'm like, I forgot. Like,
I don't even think you cashed your last check. I don't even know.
Big baller status over here. I don't need it. So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But see, the thing is like, and I don't take it like you're trying to get over on, because anybody that meets you and knows that's not who you are, right? Yeah. So I don't feel like that. I just feel like your pricing, because even at the price point that we're at right now with you, and what I say you should be at it is a day, it's still low. It's still a low price, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you can be like, dang, I was charging that.
And like, it's not like I'm doing bad stuff. It's like that Marvel one I charged her, you know, $650 for. Like, there was, like, it sounds cocky, but like maybe a few little like things that were different than the picture, but you look at it, like, you would really have to stare at it to notice anything wrong. And like, for me to like be able to like do that, I'm like, yeah, maybe I should be making some money doing this. But I mean, I'm not really worried about. She's a regular.
She's like an OG.
Yeah, she gets a little discount.
Yeah, she gets the discount, because that's not even what you should have charged her.
Yeah.
But and she tips good. She always be hooking. She gives us some Panera, so you know. That's our girl. But yes, so what I've noticed is your confidence went up even higher than it was. You're enjoying it now, and you had me laughing the other day when we were sitting in the shop, and it was like an odd day. Remember, it was like dead. We were sitting in there.
No one was in there. Yeah.
It was weird. Like, that just doesn't happen much. But when it did, we were sitting there. I was like, man, I just love working here. I just love being here. And you were like, I go home every day and I tell my mom and dad that the same thing. I was like, yeah.
I get home from work. Literally, I get off. I'm in the best mood. Like, I've never left like mad ever. Like, and I'll go work out after, and then I get home. I'm like, this is it. This is the life. My friends are like, oh, I've got Zoom class, and I'm like, couldn't be me.
Yeah. I'm making more than your teacher. Yeah. And you're happy. You don't have to worry about nothing. And you get to pick your people. You get to pick who you want to tattoo. Yeah. It's a great feeling. That's why I told you from the beginning, I didn't want you to get in. And I tell all my apprentices this, but it's hard because in life sometimes you start feeling like you need that money, so you have to, where you didn't feel that way. And since you didn't feel that way and you stuck to just, I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's it. And you boasted about it, and we kept saying it. Now that's all that's coming, right?
Yeah.
So the good part about that is with you is now it's endless. Like, you're never going to go back to having to do something that you don't want to do.
Yeah, like, I know it's like, if you know you can do this, why do something less? Like, why are you trying to set yourself back a little bit? Like,
so I gave you my sister-in-law because she wanted a realistic, like,
she's gonna get a cool owl.
And I was like, you know what, that'd be fun because it's a portrait style and it's an animal, and you said you wanted to try.
I know. I posted a picture of the tiger. Like, I'm really trying to do that because I know it's going to turn out, like, super good. It's just, like, paying attention to detail. And it's like,
it's a different movement. It's a different shade. It's It's different than a portrait of a person, but essentially it's the same damn thing. It's the same exact thing. It's just you put it where you see it. You put that black where, because that's the one thing a lot of people fight with, and I do sometimes too. Fight with it is, I won't put that black where it is, or I'll put the black where it is, and I don't put the medium where it should be.
Yeah.
And I switch from the dark to the light.
It's crazy because in art class, like, I went to CR, and, like, we have a great art program, but it's not like I went to a school for art, like an art school. Like, if I lived back up north, I'd be going, like, Cab Calloway or something, like. And there they learn about, like, how to draw a face from, like, scratch, and, like, the frames, the face, whatever. Like, I don't really know a lot about that, like, but I do know, like, important lines, and I know just to, like, focus on a little area. That's literally all I do.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, there's this color here, a little bit of this. Like, let me try to literally copy that little part, like, over here, and then I just move on, like.
Yeah. And you can tell when you get to the comfortable areas, like the upper part. Like, it's bigger, it's open. I see. That's why I was making fun of you the other day when I was like, oh, it's taking you this long. I was joking with you. Because I knew. Because all the detail is in the lips and the mouth and the nose and the teeth and all that. So.
And it's nice, too, like, saying, like, yo, this is, like, the price up front. Like, it's a full day. Because, like, if I'm sitting there, like, I'm not feeling, like, when I'm thinking or I stop for a second just, like, to stare at it. Like, I'm not wasting their time or their money or whatever. I'm like, look, I'm doing my thing.
And nobody can get mad when you give them a price for a day and you give them a day's worth of work. Like, you do that. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I feel like once I got to the day, and sometimes my days will be where I'm like, all right, I'm emotionally or I'm just physically tapped. Like, I'll stop because if I feel like I'm losing myself in it, like, I'm not. Yeah,
you get, like, real tired, and then you slowly are just like, man, if you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this, like, it's just not gonna look as good. Like, it's like, you're playing a sport. Like, I don't want to be here. You're not going to play as hard as.
And some people don't understand how tired an artist can be when they get out of work. If you've worked on a piece all day that really challenged your mind all day, it's like staring at a computer all day. It's the worst. It wears you out. You'll get home and just be exhausted.
Man, like, my back be hurting.
That's why I tell you need to sit up higher. Because it looks like you Dom,
I'm like always crunched. Yeah, I'm always like.
You guys just crunch over. I'm like, I just see pain in my back when I'm
Larry's like tattooing. He's like.
I sit right up. Like, all right, we're gonna sit like this. I'm gonna bring you all the way up in here. I'm gonna make myself comfortable because I'm not gonna be paying for this later. Even like a lot of times when I leave, because I do a lot of day sessions, I got to take a pre-workout to come home. I got 4 kids to take care of, and a 3-year-old I got to run after. I take a pre-workout almost every day, right before I pick my daughter up, just so I can keep up with her.
You can push through.
I have to. Getting up early and then, staying up late, it's just, to make up time.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough of it. There's not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
We got to make what we have.
But yeah, tattooing is awesome. Sick.
What would you tell an apprentice coming in? What would you...
do it. Like, literally just do it. Love it. Oh my God, it's the best thing ever. An apprenticeship, like, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know how other apprenticeships are run, like, but the way ours was ran, like, even when I was in the shop before quarantine, like, learning the basics, like, taking the trash out, doing whatever, like, yeah, it's not the most fun thing, but after, like, it's not like you're going to be stuck doing that forever, like, you slowly progress, like, an apprenticeship is, like, a small period of, like, your growth, but, like, from just beginning to, like, the point where, like, oh, okay, I can tattoo and stuff, like, but if you're running an apprenticeship right, like, then after it's done, like, you should just continue, like, on that, that path, like, it just sets you up for, this is how you should be progressing, like, where would you ever stop?
And the cool part about why, I'll give you a couple examples of why apprenticeship and why you did what you did is important. If I'm having you set up and break me down every time, right? I'm watching you. I'm making sure you're putting your gloves on. I'm making sure you're cleaning up. I'm making sure you're putting the needles in a sharp container, right? If you're doing all of those things, when you go to sit down for your first tattoo, right?
I don't think about it.
You don't think about
it's
any
not
of that.
like something that should stress me out before the tattoo.
You know how many, you need a single cap for your black, you need your 4 for your black and grays, you know, you need your colors, 3 each. Like, you just kind of like, okay, I need this.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you need already. So it's not like when you sit down, because what happens a lot, and not a lot, but it can happen, is you'll be tattooing and then you'll miss that color that you forgot to put out. And then it messes you up for a little bit. You're like, shit, I forgot these colors.
I need that purple right there. It's, you know.
So being able to set up and be set up right and doing it over and over again, even though you weren't tattooing, you just it came so easy to you. Now you can set up without even thinking about it. You're not like, oh, this, that. You just grab it and you're just like, doop, doop.
Yeah.
So it's less thought. Now you're still thinking about the tattoo, because now you're grabbing the ink like, oh, I need that for that ink. Oh, yeah, I need this one. I need this one. And you bring over your tray and you're like, oh, I need all 76 colors.
Yeah.
So that's what you be doing. I'm like, good God.
I mean, I usually use all of them.
Yeah, you do. I'm not complaining. I just say you use a lot of colors. Some of them colors, it's crazy because it's like, you know, you're more advanced in the color of like portrait than I am, like, because I don't really focus on the color portraits like that. But man, when you do it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense now. So you know, it's like a teacher's learning too. Like, I get to learn from you because when I watch you do it, I'm like, okay. Even
like it's funny you say that, because like when I would go to do a drawing, like I would grade my paper off, I'd do my like outline, my sketch, like erase like the extra lines, like, and I would look at the picture and I would pick out every single pencil where I saw that color was, like, and like I just realized the other day, I was like, that's exactly what I do when I go to set up. I'm like, this is like literally what I used to do, but with ink instead.
You were training yourself the whole time.
Yeah, it's funny, but I know what you're saying. I'll watch like Pete and you and like whoever like do black and gray, and I'm like oh, that's how they do black and gray. And like me and Pete will talk about like the different, like how people will go like to dark and stuff like that. Like there's so much other stuff that I can like, try out and learn.
Yeah, because we work completely backwards. We work completely backwards from each other. Pete starts lights to darks. I go darks to lights.
Yeah, and I was like, why would you go light to dark? I mean, like, it makes sense sometimes.
Because he likes to stop and point. He likes to know that he can build into. It's like I can see the stopping point, so I'm like, all right with it.
Yeah, it's like, this is the lightest. I know I'm going to go here, so I'm not going to go any lighter.
Yeah. So it's just difference in the way of and that's the way he was taught. That's the way he showed himself, because I don't think he really was taught by anybody. I think he had a little bit of an apprenticeship, but more realistically, it was just him and his boy learning together. Yeah. So those are key factors to look where he's at now from when he first started. He's killing it now. And the same thing with everybody. We all have grown since we started working around each other, you know.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just about a house full of like people wanting to learn together. It's fun.
It's awesome. People start asking me questions, and like I always have some questions for him too. I'm like, well, what would you use here? Like, do this, and like it's just crazy because I'll get a lot of answers that I would have never even thought of. So
that's why I got you to rate all them questions and answers.
Yeah, everyone has like their own style. Like Dom, I haven't asked Dom a lot of questions, but like I did ask him like how he would run his needle, or like, you know, like his needle speed, like squirrel.
Totally different. He learned, like, so when he was apprenticing with me, he kind of tended to roll over to another guy that used to work for me and watch how he ran his lines, and I was like, man, it just looks so much harder than it needs to be. But now he's so good at it that way, it's just normal for him. And it was normal for the other guy, but it's not the way I knew how to do, so I was like, I'm going to back off and let you just learn that one with him, because I knew better than trying to intervene now, because it's like taking a dog from outside to inside. It's not going to go good. So I just let him stay that way. Now his line works strong.
It's awesome.
Well, why don't we tell people what we're about to do after this podcast?
I'm about to eat the single Dorito chip, spicy Dorito. I don't know what it's called, the
Paco, or I don't know.
You try and grab it? Yeah. It's one chip with like the California Reaper dust.
So we're gonna see who's gonna take and drink the milk first.
Alright. Oh god, my legs never run.
We don't need all of them.
Yeah, just give me one. Yeah, Larry bought the whole store.
Oh, Audrey wants to get in on the video. You just got in on the video. You at least get in. You gotta say hi. You gotta turn around and say hi.
I'm like,
there's a lot of us gonna do it. So we're about to have some fun with this chip, and this will be on another video for you guys to watch. So, on behalf of the Larry and Graycie Show, we were happy to have you guys come aboard.
Hopefully we'll see you sooner rather than later compared to last time.
No, we'll definitely be doing more podcast shows now. We just got a little bit sidetracked with life.
It's cool.
But we're back.
Happens.
Yep. Well, I had a lot going on. You had a lot going on. Well, guys, it's good seeing you. See you on the next one.
See ya.